Hey folks, welcome to Playing Traffic. Today's episode, I got the black and orange on today. Well, that's not a Flyers hat, it's an Alcatraz hat from Alcatraz. But yeah, the black and orange is on because we're going to talk about hockey today. And we're going to talk about an event that happened April 12th, 1974. And I'm going to go to the command center, my own personal command center, and do a light play-by-play of the event that happened on April 12th, 1974. But in order to talk about that date, we need to talk about not only the Philadelphia Flyers, but we need to talk about the Atlanta Flames, folks. From 1972 to 1980, Atlanta, Georgia was home to the one and only Atlanta Flames. So we're at the old site of the OMNI COLISEUM, and the OMNI COLISEUM was where the Atlanta Flames played hockey. It's where the Atlanta Hawks played basketball. And in order to really intro this video with quality, we're going to stand right next to Evander Holyfield right here and tell you the following. Okay, here's the thing about the Atlanta Flames. So for a team that had a very short lifespan here in Atlanta, Georgia, 8 years. It's hard to imagine. So apparently the business model didn't work. So by 1980, they were like, it's time to let this go. Atlanta moved to Calgary. Not the Atlanta Flames moved to Calgary. Were then called the Calgary Flames, which they're still called the Calgary Flames. They're still there. But 6 of the 8 seasons that they played here, they made the playoffs. I remember Tom Lysiak, picture. I remember Brian Watson, picture, from watching back then. But I don't remember April 12th, 1974 until I recently saw it on YouTube. The one and only, okay, you can get in the comments to correct me, the one and only bench clearing brawl between the Philadelphia Flyers and the Atlanta Flames happened in the OMNI COLISEUM. It's legendary. There's some legendary moments in it. So I'm here to shout out the Atlanta Flames. But anyway, April 12th, 1974, folks, get ready, because we're going to take a peek at that bench clearing brawl between the Atlanta Flames and the Philadelphia Flyers. So anyway, here I am in the studio, ready just to point out some finer points of this bench clearing brawl here that we're going to review today. Want to also note Arctos Horse, who posted this 10 months ago, 19,000 views. I don't know if this actually was posted prior to 10 months ago. I kind of think this is, when I saw this the other day, this was the first time that I saw this. So that's a key factor in it, because I used to be a hockey fight tape trader back in, I guess, the early 90s. Shout out to hockeyfights.com. I was one of them guys on that site tape trading. That was a lot of fun, matter of fact. But I do want to say that, so here's your date right here, April 12th, 1974. This was game 3 of the playoffs, the first round playoffs of that season. Flyers Flames, game 3, this happened. Think about it, this happened, and this is the way hockey was back then. Quick shout out to this gentleman right here, Gary Dornhofer. Really one of my favorite color commentators in the NHL. Well, for the Flyers, let's just say that. I don't know if that was on a national level. Gary Dornhofer right here. All right, so right here, this play's going to play itself out. They're going to go to commercial break, and it's going to bust right into an altercation. Watch. Play the video. Tom Lysiak, heard that name right there. So, most importantly, to understand how a bench clearing brawl is going to start with the Philadelphia Flyers is to know that if Bobby Clarke is involved, which he is here, this is probably what's going to trigger everyone to get freaked out. So just to make it clear. So the Broad Street Bullies took a whooping from the St. Louis Blues. If I'm not mistaken, it was the year before this. So this is the 73-74 season right here. So I'm going to say the 72-73 season was when the Plager brothers really did a number on the Flyers. And I'm pretty sure that happened at the Philadelphia Spectrum. So that off season, they really focused on toughening up. I think that's when Schultz was brought in. Moose DuPont, excuse me. Dave Schultz, Moose DuPont. Bob Kelly was a big factor in it. And one of the names that I've always heard over the decades that I don't remember that well because how old was I? I was little. I wasn't even 8 years old yet. Was Don Selesky as being they had a number of guys that would go to war every night. And if anyone put their hands on Bobby Clarke, it was going to be a mess. All right, so we have Kirk Bennett right here. Kirk Bennett. I'm going to fact check the name, the number. You see number 5, the position. He's the one who really did a number on Clarke. And this, I'm going to say he probably, the Broad Street Bullies were Broad Street Bullies, but we're looking at probably one of the main antagonists in this situation. Roll tape. You'll notice, so Clarke was just in that scrap that was on the ice with this guy Bennett. Bill Flett. You could look at this. Look at this bodyguard action right here. Bill Flett right there protecting Bobby Clarke. Over here on the left, that is Dave Schultz. In an iconic moment in history, we're going to see that a little later happen in this bench clearing brawl. Now here we go. How it started and then how it went. There's Bennett giving Clarke a pounding. Clarke not a fighter. This gentleman's hair right here is intense, man. I got to ID who that is. A very interesting cut. Moose DuPont right here. Here we go. Remember I told you about Bill Flett protecting Clarke? Well, now looks like he's taking the odd lump here. Joe Watson, the Flyers right here. Oh, the guy with the hair, Moose DuPont. Now this guy's gripping Clarke up. Moose, remember when I told you, Broad Street Bullies, that was Moose. That's Don Earl on the color commentary in this game. Gene Hart with the play-by-play. Yeah, so it's the suit for me with the Atlanta's coach. Fred Shiro here. Flyers coach, there's Don Selesky. And here's where we go bananas. Bob Kelly, look out. So I don't know if something was said, but one guy's name's Deadmarsh. I'm wondering if that's Adam Deadmarsh's father. Was the first off the bench. I'm actually going to also put the penalty list for this. I think this was 13 something in the second period that this happened. So I'm because I was able to find the box score, and for all of this action, for all this wild behavior, it really is shocking the amount of it's not a long list of penalties for all this.
Now we've got Richard over there with a headlock, and this is all going on right on the Flyers bench, Gene. Fred Shiro is right in the middle trying to get out of it. And we've got Lonsberry,
Fred Shiro.
And Pat Quinn is in a bear hug with Bob.
And this glass was never high enough back here. There was so much history of away teams dealing with the fan. Look at this. Look at this. Look at it. Hey, everyone. Now, no one's going to mess with the Flames, but on the other side, with the Flyers glass, anything was possible. Keep an eye on this guy right here. That's the Hammer, Dave Schultz. There's a reason why he's standing there. And keep an eye on this guy. Well, you can't really keep an eye on him when he's not on the camera. Here he comes.
That's Jack Stewart, who was the one
And go. Here we go. Now we're going to start. That moment is something that you see so many times in Flyer highlights, especially when it comes to Dave Schultz. Number 17. I'll confirm that. So 13:31, 20-minute periods was when that all jumped off in the OMNI Coliseum. Second period is when this happened. The third game of the quarterfinals of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Atlanta made the playoffs. Yo, they made the playoffs 6 out of 8 seasons. The fact that they actually were averaging 10,000, it makes me wonder, like, what did anybody expect? 10,000 is a lot of people. Sure, this arena will hold probably 16, 17, 15 for a hockey game, but I mean, 10,000, if that was the actual number, is that's a lot. That's a big crowd. So I don't really know. Like, I mean, I don't know how the business of franchises went. Again, Atlanta is now working on their third NHL franchise. That could very well come to fruition. That's a big rumor. The league is at this time at 16 teams, 8 of which made the playoffs. And this was the season the Flyers won their first Stanley Cup. They won back-to-back, and Philly hasn't seen a Stanley Cup since. Oh, by the way, I got my this is Hershey Bears retro going all the way back. I'm not going to spin around. Well, it's kind of weird. Let me see some letters. Craig Berube, when he started with the Hershey Bears Stanley Cup. Stanley Cup winning coach of the St. Louis Blues a handful of years back. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to just note, man, it's a very significant contribution that the Atlanta Flames had in their tenure in the NHL. I don't care what anybody says. You made the playoffs 6 out of 8 years. It is what it is. You did. I'd love to see it come back. I would probably support it. I don't go to as many events as I used to, but I probably would support NHL hockey if it came back here. I certainly would probably want to visit when the Flyers come in town. A bench clearing brawl is when somebody comes off the bench. And this is specifically things that happened in the 70s and 80s. And as you've seen, things that have happened during the playoffs in the 70s and 80s. It's just a wild thought. This is where, not necessarily in this moment here in this event, but when you're in a penalty box, look, I mean, the glass, and the Flyers have a history, especially at home, with people interacting with players from the opposing team in the penalty box. But look, Schultz is, I guess, done. He may interact with the crowd in the way. All right, he's going to do that. So he's out. And Moose Dupont was also in the penalty box with him. That's always a thing. Here we go. Let's see. Well, he's okay. It looked like without incident leaving the ice. Just found this right after the ice was cleared. Plays back. Watch this.
Not bouncing it on Braun. Leaves for Tom Blayton on the far side. Up to McLeish, who slides at center. Clay steals the puck. He's going to have a clean breakaway on Bouchard. In. He hits the upright. And there is a play that makes
the upright. Dan Bouchard, goaltender for the Flames.
As he had him beaten to the top corner. Wait a minute, they said score. They said score.
There's the goal judge who called goal.
I've seen this happen before, Shane. I think that we can take a look at it. Maybe we can determine better. No goal.
I mean, look. With the graininess of the screen, it's hard to tell what's going on. But look, it's goalie's losing. Look, it's in the playoffs, man. This is game 3 of the playoffs.
And he might be out of the game.
But yeah, this is. I'm going to say that was not a goal by Rick McLeish, but it's going to count. Now wait till you see what happens down the other behind the net. 70s live sports. Good. Yo, he's swinging the stick and everything. Yeah. And I don't think he left the game. Here we go. Here he comes. Oh boy. Here, look. There. This is going to help, and the crowd's not going to react to him taking a swing at the window where the goal judge is at. Watch this. Here's another one. Look at this. Look. What the heck is going on? Look at this. You're done. Your game's over, buddy. Buddy. It's gone. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Woo! 70s hockey, baby. All right, folks. Thanks for watching that video. Just wanted to document like the one bench clearing brawl in the OMNI in Atlanta. Again, Game 3 quarterfinals of the playoffs in 73-74. Flyers went on to win the Stanley Cup that year. We already said that. Okay, fine. They beat the Flames 4-0. Beat the Rangers in 7 games. Beat the Boston Bruins in 6 games. But yeah, Atlanta Flames with a huge that was a major contribution. Seriously, and that's really all there is to be said. A lot. The thing is just the reckless way that the games were. That was just normal for a hockey fan. I was a big Flyers fan back then. I love the Flyers. I always will. But that whole time, that was the norm. Bench clearing brawls is insane to think about because the risk, I mean, there was a different mentality altogether because the risk of just, oh my God, of just major injuries, and also the ramifications of having certain guys thrown out of the game, like, obviously didn't bother them guys at all for that matter. But anyway, thanks for watching, and have a great day, pleasant tomorrow. I'll see you next episode.